I will make a prediction that almost all of the presentations today will have a critical key element, which is in the word collaboration. And I think my presentation this morning would be a very good transition from Raghu's presentation, which talked about why operators like us need to transform. I will now shift the discussion from an operator's perspective, what we see on how IT and CIOs need to transform in today's business environment, which is really the age of digitalization. And I will try my best to be very interactive and entertaining to all of you so that, it's very hard to present in the morning, but here goes. The world's first FIFA match was played in Glasgow in 1884, but first televised in 1954. This has then grown to become the most widely viewed and followed sporting event, exceeding even the Olympic Games. In fact, this morning when I entered, I think the bar there was playing a FIFA match. The FIFA World Cup this year is expected to have 400 million viewers per game broadcasted. That's a total of 3.2 billion unique viewers and 30 billion cumulative. That is a lot of people for an event that happens every 4 years, which has been dubbed today as every marketer's dream event. And businesses are ever reliant on ICT to be able to reach their intended audience. However, it is not just about reaching them. It's forming a two-way communication and connection by adding value to the experience and maximizing user satisfaction. Throughout the duration of the World Cup, a significant share of these 3.2 billion people will be watching via live streaming across all devices, from internet-connected television, desktops and laptops, down to the tablets and your smartphones. Now here's a fun fact, I digress a bit. Somebody said that 16% of these people will actually try to call in sick just to watch their favorite teams, which is interesting. Now, watching the World Cup today using various technologies has transformed the way businesses are innovating in order to reach out to its clients. As mentioned earlier, that this grand event is a marketer's dream, businesses would have to evolve and would require the following: a multi-device, multi-platform capability that would easily integrate into TVs, PCs, mobile devices, and websites; anytime, anywhere access that is pervasive, which can be through on-demand pay-per-view, or even free-to-view; an IT group that is agile, which can provide just-in-time solutions. Agility also calls for fast-to-market solutions which are optimized and scalable. And finally, tech enhancements that are up-to-date, one that can generate better efficiencies. So enterprise IT, from our perspective, is yet again shifting to a new era. Gartner calls it the age of digitalization. It began with IT craftsmanship, where the focus was mainly on technology. But this focus was very isolated and disengaged, both internally and externally. And this led to very frequent issues and sporadic automation and innovation due to segregated IT silos. What followed was IT industrialization, where the focus shifted from technology to now IT processes with the aim to deliver effective and efficient solutions and services. This was made possible by more capable IT and service management departments. Today, we are seeing the digitalization of enterprise IT, where the focus is on the use of technology to challenge and alter business models, thus changing the way enterprises create and deliver value through their products and services, and placing IT at the very heart of the business. But the question is, can the IT department cope up with the said evolution? In fact, a survey was done by Gartner on CIOs in Southeast Asia, asking this very question. And it was interesting that 65% of the respondents said that their current IT cannot immediately respond to digital opportunities. At best, they could simply weather the storm and see things through. And at worst, they would be left behind by their competition. In the meantime, 35% said that they are confident that their IT can meet new challenges, one that can adapt to the coming age of digitalization. So the question, therefore, is to the CIOs in this room today, are you part of the 35% or the 65%? And the more interesting point is that the reason why 65% of the CIOs said they are not ready, it is not because they do not have the latest and the greatest IT. In fact, studies have shown that IT budgets today are better than predicted back in 2011. In 2011, it was predicted that IT budgets are slowly declining. This year, IT budgets remained flat compared to 2013. More important to note than the budget is that 34% of IT expenditure is actually happening outside the IT department, where departments such as marketing, among others, now dictate the direction of their IT investments. This is to enable them to cover important events such as the World Cup, where the business needs to continuously evolve on how they reach their intended audience. After all businesses have to put the customer at the center of everything that we do. So indeed, the clear trend that we see is that IT is happening beyond the four walls of the IT department. And controversial as it may sound, it simply begs the question, does it still matter, or does IT still matter? This may sound familiar as Does IT Matter? It was actually a book written by Nicholas Carr more than a decade ago. And this is the same question every CIO should ask him or herself every single year. While seemingly a bit dismissive, the availability of managed services and the viability of lights-out IT through the cloud make a purely utility-oriented CIO increasingly irrelevant today. The days of striving for high uptime numbers are now an expectation rather than a cause for recognition. And increasingly, complex technologies like big data build a case for hiring outside expertise and bypassing internal IT directly. Consider how your IT department and you, as a CIO, is perceived by your peers. Are you what we call the technical plumber, called in to connect the dots after the key strategic decisions have been made? Or are you a trusted source of guidance and insight that helps to shape the company's future? The disturbing question may require a call to action, and various articles and research papers out there have stated that CIOs have three imperatives in order to enable the business to pursue the most cost-effective ICT options. First, there is the 80-20 rule, and it is often used within organizations to illustrate the larger effects that small variables can have, which we all know today as the Pareto principle. IT has its own sets of 80-20 rules according to Gartner, and Gartner estimates that IT maintenance costs account for 80% of the total IT spend. However, we contend from an operator's perspective that the 80-20 rule occurs elsewhere within IT and it relates to time just as much as it relates to monetary costs. When we look at organizations running their own data center infrastructure, for example, and extends Gartner's findings, we hypothesize that only 20% of the time and effort that goes into running applications where all the business value is concentrated is actually concerned with running those applications themselves. This diagram illustrates the extent that routine and non-core tasks like patching operating systems and performing backups and the impact on the time it has on the IT department. This is why cloud computing has been growing globally, with the Philippines being one of the fastest growing nations to adapt the cloud. Cloud computing is a force that helps flip this ratio and gives IT departments the ability to spend 80% of their time on core business processes like business application design. It is for this reason that the ability to create the ideal split of 20-80 to 80-20, that 20% of the time and money dedicated to core business processes will now shift to 80%. It is for this reason that the economics of cloud computing is so compelling. Over the years, enterprises gain cloud maturity as they are now slowly shifting from on-premise based infrastructure to the end goal of a secure and elastic multi-tenant cloud. This shift brings them closer to that ideal 80-20 rule. And from where we sit, to tell you the truth, despite being the fastest growing adopter of cloud, the Philippines is still lagging behind our American, European, and even Asia-Pacific neighbors. American and European enterprises have already adopted virtual private clouds. APAC enterprises are in private cloud or public cloud stages. Philippine enterprises, unfortunately, from where we see, are either still using on-premise or hosted servers, with only 8% using any of the four to the right. Organizations have to also weigh the opportunity costs that they pay to manage their own computing needs. These costs have made business agility very, very poor, something that the cloud easily addresses, and one of the main reasons why enterprises choose to go cloud. In fact, 50% of businesses cite agility as their main reason to go cloud. Lower costs, higher innovation, and better service are also among the reasons. These reinforce the real need to shift 80% of the CIO and their IT department's time and resources from simply running and maintaining the infrastructure to being the source of guidance and leadership to the company. This brings me to the second priority of transforming from simply managing utility resources to actually becoming an internal innovation partner of your business. In another article, CIO Priorities for 2014 and Beyond, it said, by 2016, over 70% of CIOs will change their primary role from directly managing IT to become an innovation partner of the business. It also said that in this year, we'll see 80% of the IT budget focused on service integration, which is primarily intended to reduce complexity and cost. Also, before 2017, which is very interesting, only 40% of CIOs will rise to the challenge from being CXOs to becoming a partner in strategic planning. To rise to this challenge, Gartner identified three main initiatives. One, create powerful digital leadership. The World Cup can again be an excellent example for this. With the CIO also acting as the CDO, proper guidance can be made enabling the other CXOs of relevant technologies that could give the edge against competition. This also, in consequence, leads to stronger growth. Second, we need to renovate the core of IT. 87% of enterprises are looking to change their technology and sourcing relationships in the next 2 years, with the future looking increasingly cloudy. Enterprises are looking to gradually move a significant amount of their workloads either to a service provider's data center or onto the cloud, either in a public, hybrid, or virtual private cloud setup as shown in the previous slide. We need to build bimodal capabilities. Finally, having a bimodal IT avoids the situation of being stuck in the middle. The IT department should adapt to both modern and traditional. Traditional being where there is strong governance, minimal risk, and waterfall type of development from dedicated technology teams. Modern being lightweight with managed risk, but high-speed, agile development from multidisciplinary teams. Finally, then there is that need to have an external strategic collaborative partner. The collaboration partner should satisfy the wants of the CIO, that being cost-efficient and effective deployment. CIOs generally look for an alternative to their current in-house IT that will help them save more money, and at the same time will help them deploy applications faster. To address these, the partner should have a complete range of solutions, basically offering a trusted end-to-end ICT partner, which dovetails very well to what Raghu has mentioned, and that's the reason why we have been working on that transformation as well. Scalability and agility. CIOs would also want some level of control in terms of addressing customer demands while not compromising the quality they deliver. They also want to be agile enough to keep pace and evolve with the business. And to address these, the partner should provide a seamless collaboration with the CIO to ensure that the CIO can focus more on innovating and giving value to the business whilst leaving the heavy lifting to the partner. And finally, just as important as the other two, the partner should ensure the long-term stability and viability, not only of the partnership, but also of the partner itself. These wants are then compared to the strength of the collaboration partner. So to conclude, we can definitely take a page out of Cristiano Ronaldo, a Portuguese football player who plays for Real Madrid, and the Portuguese football team currently playing in the ongoing World Cup, and impart it to our respective businesses. And he says, I quote, "I am not a perfectionist, but I like to feel that things are done well. More important than that, I feel the endless need to learn, to evolve, not only to please the coach and the fans, but also to feel satisfied with myself. It is my conviction that there are no limits to learning and that it can never stop no matter what our age." We continue to learn, to evolve, not only to please our bosses, but to also feel satisfied with ourselves. There are no limits to learning as we adapt by simplifying IT, leading to becoming an internal innovation partner, and finally, externally collaborating to sustain the innovation. In the end, we do not want to become a simple technical partner and instead become the trusted source of guidance that helps shape our respective companies' futures. So with that, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning.